Say it again.
It's to the right of the stream in Twitch at twitch.tv. Are you at twitch.tv?
Oh, I see it now. Okay.
All right, we are back.
How's it going?
We're back with the burning wheel after going potty and getting some lemonade.
Oh, I should have gotten some lemonade.
All right, so we pick up. The camera fades back in as all of you are led away from the grounds to the kind of mixed celebration of the crowd. Some of them really wanted to see you guys die, and whether or not for personal reasons or because they just wanted a good show. And so they're kind of muttering to themselves. Some of them are like kind of clapping as you guys are led away by some guards who came, and you are led away from the prison to like the church that's basically right next door to the prison, and you're kind of led into the center foyer area, and you can see like the symbols of the different patron saints on the walls, as they are in most churches, and your footsteps echo in the vaulted chambers, and basically the priest leads you. The priest is the head of this procession, and you're kind of surrounded by guards, and you're led to like a small room off to the side of the main church foyer area, or the sanctuary or whatever, and there is a man sitting inside with blood red robes, and this is not common.
Well, obviously not.
No, because in some religions it might be, but like it's not. Most of the time, the various priests and theologians and clergymen and inquisitors, all those people just wear kind of subdued hues, mostly browns or blacks or grays or whatever.
Oh, I didn't know you were talking about the clothes. I thought you were talking about like this entire situation. I was like, obviously this is not normal.
No, I think you meant the blood red clothes.
Okay. Is that sacrilegious technically?
No.
No?
No. It's not sacrilegious, it's just not common. Except with the like the higher ranks, like the bishops and stuff like that, because they tend to wear like kind of colorful clothing because they can, and they have expensive dyes and whatnot. But this particular hue just seems to be rather garish and rather like in your face. You've never seen robes quite like it before. Whether or not, I mean, Delon probably finds that more surprising than the rest of you do, because he's seen a lot of stuff. But basically, yeah, this man has like the classic bald shaved head, the shaved head, and he has like piercing green eyes, and he looks at all of you like in turn with just a very calm, like taking all of you at once face that just seems kind of like bore into you, and he kind of like gestures to some seats that are laid out in the middle of the room, and he's like right near like a desk, and with like a scroll out in front of him.
I sit right next to Dylan.
I don't think I'm sitting.
Okay.
I stand right next to Dylan.
Cantarius, Antonius?
I'm going to cooperate, do whatever they want. At this point, I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
I probably sit down.
You found out that...
Collapse.
Oh, sorry, go.
Connor, put your mic by your face.
Oh, sorry. I was chewing. I didn't want to annoy you guys. I'd probably collapse, like, on a chair, like just, like not sure how to handle this.
Okay.
It's at this point that Antonius realizes that after all of his trouble, all he had to do was let them execute him, and they would have just let him go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
No, I think I believe that someone heard my plea from the podium.
Okay.
Someone heard. They listened. This is as terribly corrupt as I believed it was.
Yeah.
Okay, but the guy like gestures. But Delon, actually, you do recognize that he has the mark or whatever, like the little sash of an inquisitor. So though the robes are very different, he does have that traditional sash, so you recognize him through that.
Interesting.
And Cantarius and Antonius sit down, and he gestures to Dellen and Alphonse. He's like, "Please sit. We have much to discuss." And his look is like one that should be obeyed without question. Like he's very used to giving orders and receiving obedience.
Alright.
Okay.
In that case, then Dallin nods and he sits.
And I sit right next to him.
Okay. The man kind of cracks his knuckles and looks at you all, and he says, "My name is Vada Frey. I am the Scarlet Inquisitor, as some call me." And at that, you do recognize the name, Dellen. He's a foreign, actually, man from a nearby, like, city-state that's Garrick in culture. But he grew up, or he was brought into the church when he was about, like, maybe 12 or so. So he has the accent of that region still, because he was like raised in a monastery near the border.
Okay.
But you recognize that name and his story because he's kind of a little bit of a famous person. But you haven't seen the robes before. The robes are new, and you haven't heard of them either. And he kind of just takes in all of you and looks you over, and he says, "I suppose you are wondering why you were exonerated? The scumbags that you are."
I slam my fist into the table and say, "Why did you spare us?"
I spared, and he like kind of wipes his face a little bit because you probably spit on him a little bit. And he says,
Just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Not too much.
Though to be honest, Connor, how much is Cantarius getting out of all of this? Because he's blind.
Oh, I totally forgot about that for a second.
That's gonna be hard to remember. I have a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Probably all of it. I don't see why I wouldn't be getting all of it.
No, I'm just saying, like, how does it look? How is it different from your perspective? All of this that's been happening so far.
I mean, I can't see, so that's probably the main difference.
Yeah, but how does that change your perception? What are you focusing on through all of this?
Probably his voice, I imagine, if it's your sense of hearing, and he apparently has a very demanding voice. I assume.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He can hear the red.
Yeah, so you definitely don't you don't recognize the red Connor or the sash of the Inquisitor. You have no idea who this person is. You just know that they are. I mean, you know he's an Inquisitor now because he told you, but like you just know that they're very demanding. So.
Okay.
But yes, he asked you that question, like, or right, you asked him a question. He wipes the spit and he says, you were exonerated because it is of interest to the church to have such as you, where we can conveniently use you.
Well, that was very blatant. Very blunt of you. Respect your honesty, sir. No, I don't say that.
You don't say that? Okay.
No.
Sir, thank you for saving us. May I now return to my family, please? My family and my shop.
He smiles and chuckles lightly and he says, "No. You will not
Why
be
not?
You will not be returning to your family anytime soon. The church has use of you, and if you would object to this, you can still be beheaded. The executioner still awaits. You have sworn fealty to the church, my friend. This includes certain responsibilities."
I open my mouth to say something, and
I've
then
done nothing wrong.
I just stop.
How much are we getting paid?
You are getting paid with your life.
I want more.
He literally goes up to you and he slaps you across the face. And he says, "You will shut up, you scur! I am in charge here.
Ow.
Oh, you beat me to it.
Still oh. Like, ow, that hurt.
And he looks at you, Antonius, and he says, "You have done everything wrong. You have blasphemed against the church with the even mention, the possibility of not serving it. You will not go back to your family. You will serve as much as I will it." And then, when none of you say anything, he kind of like coughs. "Come in." And someone else comes in, a priest, and he looks at you, just kind of like inquisitively, like studying your faces, and he has like spectacles, and he seems like be a very like kind of quiet, reserved sort of person, and he goes up to you, Antonius, and he kind of like touches your chest like that, and he goes, "Yes, I do think it will work. I do think it will work, Father. It better work. How long do you think it will take?" No more than an hour, I should guess, unless there are complications. Make sure there are none. And if there are, I suppose, kill the loud one." And then,
that's Dylan, right?
who hasn't said a whole word for this entire exchange?
Yeah.
I'm like, Dylan,
I was gonna yell at them a couple times,
you.
and both times he beat me to it. I was literally like right before you said that he slaps him, I was like, I grab Alphonse's head and slam it to the table and yell at him, and then I was like, oh, never mind, he just slapped him. I guess that works.
But David, we're brothers.
I am genuinely concerned now.
Yeah, so
Something is going right. I was saved, and now nothing's going right.
So Avada, the Skeleton Inquisitor, leaves, and this bespectacled man in front of you just kind of starts like probing you and just kind of like touching you and kind of like squeezing your muscles a little bit, shaking you a bit. And he says, "Yes."
I say at least take him out to
yes.
dinner first. Jeez.
And he looks at you and just looks back. And he says, "All right, we will start with you, blacksmith." And
What are you going to do to me?
He like folds his hands and starts like praying under his breath. He's just kind of muttering, wrote scripture and stuff like that, and wrote prayers, and then he kind of like breathes in, touches your chest, and a soft like glow emits from his hand and like envelops you. And
I yell and start saying, "I want to be executed! I want to be executed!"
But you can't see it.
Oh, I can't see it. That's a good point.
I mean, you feel it, Connor. You feel this hum of energy.
Okay, yeah.
I imagine you can probably hear it too.
Yeah.
What do I feel?
I mean, you feel a vibration in your very being. Like you didn't know that you had that deep of a place in yourself, but like the deepest parts of every part of you are like vibrating.
Oh my.
Okay.
And then he finishes, takes his hand away, and there's nothing.
I feel a tingly inside.
Wait, he disappeared, or?
No.
No, it doesn't. He stopped feeling it.
I got you. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Then he steps up to you, Cantarius, and he does the same thing.
No, I pull away and say I would rather be executed.
And he looks at you and he says,
I will not be a dog for the church.
And then he turns
Dylan
into an
laughs.
actual dog.
I think at that, but he just laughs.
yeah.
Like he doesn't bother explaining why he laughed.
The priest like looks at your blind eyes, and obviously you can't see him looking at your blind eyes, but you feel his gaze on you, and he says, "You are a dog of the church, whether you would want it or not. I would stay still. It makes it hurt less." And then he presses his hand against your chest.
So can I roll a doctrine to see what the because I don't think that the Holy Book refers to anybody as the dog of the church, so I want to use a doctrine roll to see what they refer to them as.
Okay,
And I want
go
to
ahead.
correct them. Okay. I don't think I get any bonuses from any of that.
To be honest, I don't think there's even a roll here. I think you
Okay.
just make it up because you know a lot about doctrine.
Okay. So I mean, this guy presumably isn't a believer of the religion. So, right? I mean, I guess I wouldn't know that, but I assume they have different terms for that. Like, he wouldn't be a dog of the church. Or I guess in this is supposed to be like he is becoming a believer, right? Because
basically, yeah, he is becoming a like servant of the church. Yeah.
Right. So I don't know. What would they call that? Just a disciple or something like that, or like a I don't know, a vessel or something.
A vessel.
Like that,
Let's do vessel.
Okay.
Inquisitor.
So I think Dylan peeps up. He's like, technically he's a vessel, not a dog of the church. I'm not sure such a derogatory term is appropriate for the Holy Lord, the Holy Lord's own establishment.
What do you say, Jared?
Can Connor become an actual Steel Inquisitor since he doesn't have eyes?
Yes. I am totally for that.
Wow, that's disturbing.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah.
That would also be ruthless plagiarism, but
Yeah.
He'll become an Iron Inquisitor.
Now it's just a parody. It's fine.
Anyways, oop.
Okay, so you feel this warm glow envelop you then, Cantarius.
Does he not respond to being corrected?
No.
So again, you feel that echo, that deepest part of yourself being like vibrating. What would you respond to that with?
Probably screaming.
Okay.
It seems appropriate.
Am I familiar with this spell at all? Like, have I seen anybody do anything like this before?
Definitely not.
Okay.
I mean, you could roll a 9 disciplines wise if you wanted to. Obviously, you don't have it, but you could learn it just to see if you do.
Right. Sure.
Okay.
Oops. What's that gonna be? It's a will, right?
Perception.
Okay, right. Oh, Jesus.
some kind of witchcraft.
Wait, what? Oh. Why? Oh. There we go. Boop. Should I don't suppose doctrine has anything about magic in the doctrinal stuff, is there?
No. Mm-mm.
Obstacle? I imagine it's pretty high.
It's a graduated test, so just set it at 1, and then depending on how many successes you get, it will.
Not 1 apparently.
Oh.
Oh wait, why was it 2?
Because it doubles, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you recognize, you know it's magic, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you do know that, I mean, it's common for various priests to be favored, as they're called, and the favored are basically those who get their magic from the patron saints. So
That's sketch.
So when he was praying, he was like communing with his chosen patron saint and asking him for magic, basically. So that's all you get from that.
Okay, yeah.
So after Cantarius is done screaming, we go over to Alphonse, and he kind of looks you over and says, "I doubt this is even worth it for you." And then he presses his hand under your chest.
Well, this guy is just so insulting.
I think Dylan is like physically pained that Alphonse is getting whatever this is.
And then I look at him like, I'm honored by this gift you are giving me. I will use it to further the church. I have seen the error in my ways, sir. What's his title?
Just priest.
Sir Priest.
He looks at you.
Oh, come on, I don't get a roll?
No.
Oh.
He looks at you, chuckles more violently, and then eventually he starts like almost like it's quiet, but he's basically full on maniacal villain laughing. He's like,
Awesome.
And then I start laughing with him.
He stops immediately. He says, "You are a fool," and then he moves on to you, Dylan.
Wait, he doesn't give me the thing?
No, you already did it.
Okay.
What is the what did you say the gesture was that they use when they do things?
The folded hands outward.
Okay, Dylan does that as he approaches, just like waiting for it.
Okay, and the priest looks at you inquisitively, kind of adjusts his spectacles, and he says, "I am sorry, Holy Knight." And then he presses his hand in your chest, and you feel the same sensation. And then he like
I think he
Yeah.
waits till it ends, and then he's like, "One must never apologize for doing the Lord's work." He said, "I don't know what you've given me, but I thank you for it, regardless."
Interesting.
he looks at you with like almost an expression of pity on his face, and then he leaves.
Great. That makes me feel so good.
And
Okay.
Vada Frey comes back in, and he looks you over, and he's like, very good, very good. None of you have died in the process. Sometimes they do. We seem to have perfected it, for the most part.
Dylan nods like that makes total sense.
I
Like,
say,
yeah, obviously if you're enough scum, you'll die. And then he's like, but why didn't Alphonse die?
And I look to him
I
like,
say-
obviously because I'm a chosen warrior of the god.
Yeah.
Did you actually say that out loud?
I didn't
David,
say
or-
that out loud, no.
Oh.
He just kind of
I
gives
think,
that look of like, yeah, duh. And then he looks at Alphonse like, why didn't you die? But he doesn't say anything.
Alphonse, I think you totally do say that, though. Like, I am now a holy warrior, or a chosen warrior of the church.
Yes.
Oh, man. What were you going to say, Connor?
I was gonna say I ask if he's trying to deter our loyalty. If he's trying to make us turn against them.
He looks at
How
you.
insulting he is.
Yeah. He looks you up and down, which obviously you can't see because you're blind. And he says, "It is now impossible for you to betray the church unless you want to die in a horrible, horrible way." And then he barks an order, and then a screaming man is brought into the little chamber that you guys are in. Looks like some slave. And you see the after effects of the glow still on him. And he gets thrown down to the ground. And Vada Frey basically does something that you don't recognize. It's like some sort, like he's facing away from you guys, and so he does some sort of gesture or something. You see him move, but then suddenly the man starts glowing more and more fiercely, and Vada Frey steps aside, and you see the man on the ground like convulsing, and then slowly the bits and pieces of himself slowly just separate outward, and it's just like masses of giblets and blood and bone just
Nice.
separating outward, and then it all collapses in a pile, and it's just this pile of gore.
It collapses in
That is-
a pile.
Yeah.
Horrifying. Thank you, Caleb.
Ew.
And he looks
Oh, no.
he looks at all of you, and he says, "If you betray the church, you die. Welcome to the priesthood."
Wow.
Dylan
So
nods
that's why
approvingly.
people follow the church.
So, what has Cantarius gotten out of all of this?
I mean, you heard screaming and like
Yeah.
expansion
Yeah.
outward.
Well, you said you have the
I-
sensory discipline, so you probably feel, ripples of magic or
Yeah.
something.
I have what's the word? I have concluded that the Catholic Church is evil. No, I'm joking.
Our
I mean, that's a
fictional
given.
Catholic Church. Yes.
Yes, our fictional Catholic Church.
The
of
Holy
course.
Ch- the
I would
Holy
never say
Ch-
something else.
The Holy Church of Ceran.
Yeah.
Yes. There you go.
Sure,
So now,
that's what we're talking
You said that when he cast that spell, he was doing the whole prayer thing. So he got that spell from a deity, right?
From a
was
patron
it-
saint, yeah.
Right. So presumably, if, like, I mean, I guess you don't have to tell us this because we wouldn't know, but as a player, because obviously my character won't know, but then if that patron deity patron saint decided that spell, he didn't want it to kill somebody that it was cast on, I assume he could just detract that, right? Assume he could counteract it. Because I mean, like, Dylan's whole thing is like, if he's doing something against what the priests say in favor of something that the patron saint or the holy god wants, then he'll do that. And in that case, I assume he would be confident that he would be safe from the spell, just because the person who cast it is weaker than the person who gave him the strength to cast it. at least in his mind. Would that be an accurate statement, like for just like in general the way that things work?
It depends. Actually, no, it wouldn't, because what you're doing when you are favored is basically you ask the god for a basically like a charge of magic, and he gives it to you, and once it's yours, you can do whatever you want with it, and the deity has no say over it.
Okay, he wouldn't have the ability to counteract that if he wanted to?
No.
Really? Okay.
I mean, he could directly intervene, but that's like a separate thing. Like he's
right.
Yeah, it's not that
Right,
he could do that, but like again, it's not like he has like his touch in all of the magic that comes out from him at all. Once it's gone, it's gone. So it's not like it's not like it's specifically tied to him at that point.
Okay.
Okay, so anyway, what do you all do?
I'm just like, this church is evil.
And the Scarlet Inquisitor looks at you and he says, evil, good. God has no concept of morality as we see it. God is above it all. We do the will of God.
I wasn't actually saying that out loud, but now I am, just first response.
Okay. We do the will of God. The will of God is always good.
You do the will of demons.
He looks at you with fire in his eyes. You want to punch Cantarius?
Wait, no, I don't. He has a really good brawling. Never mind.
Yeah, Cantarius would own you.
I smack him. I'm doing it. I turn to him and I smack him.
Cantarius, how does he respond to that?
With violence.
And I'm like, how dare you speak ill of the church?
Well, he has to roll for that, correct?
That's complete bullcrap, by the way.
Yeah, sure, okay.
Can I do a persuasion slap?
No.
Because I'm doing the slap not so much to hurt him as to persuade
Jared.
the dude.
No, Jared.
Oh.
Persuasion.
What about
slap.
bullcrap? Why?
No.
It's a bullcrap.
No.
I'm just.
You're
it's
doing
just
a brawling
for me,
roll.
correct?
Darn it.
Yep, it's just brawling.
Thought I clicked it. There we go. No modifiers. I'm assuming it already put that in.
Unless you want to fork anything in.
No.
If you have anything to fork.
Intimidation.
No.
No. Anatomy.
Okay, well, what are you doing, Connor? What is the intent
I'm
back?
defending wrist lock, probably.
Okay. No, not anatomy.
What?
I don't know, anatomy makes sense.
Pressure points.
For a
Wrist locks.
For just a
Yeah.
wrist lock?
Yes.
Well, I mean, the way you do
Okay.
a wrist lock.
All right, that's fine, that's
Exactly
fine,
where
that's
to
fine.
Do the wrist lock.
Go ahead.
Can't do a wrist lock
Alright,
on
so what does that
another.
mean? I have a 6 in anatomy.
No, you're just adding
get
one.
If you had a 7,
Oh.
you would get 2. But you can't start with a 7, apparently.
Sorry,
So
Dave.
my modifier is now 1.
Yep.
Okay. Artha, I'm assuming, is nothing.
Yep.
So Jared, roll a
Base obstacle.
That's
roll
just
a brawling.
against a 1.
Okay.
Roll against a 1.
Okay.
I don't think I have brawling as one of my
Yeah,
things
you have
I wanna
one.
do.
You have a 1 in brawling.
You have a 1 in brawling.
What's the challenge?
Against his 4 successes.
Just roll it against a 1 and then
So
it'll...
4?
No, just put it around. It's a 1.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we'll just count. You're incapacitated?
Oh, so literally because you have those wounds still, you physically cannot do that. Like it doesn't work.
So I physically can't brawl.
Yeah. So you're so, like basically you try to slap him and you just like double over because you're like
Can I do a?
It's just the funniest thing. It's just like you're incapacitated. Like.
Can I still yell at him?
You got to punch.
Yeah,
You
that's
pass
great.
out.
So no, like
There you
Cantarius gets you into a wrist lock.
Oh. Can I still yell at him?
I mean, sure, yeah.
I'm like, how dare you question the church that has given you a second chance at redemption? Can I? Can I do persuasion?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna add bullcrap, falsehood, and
It's against his will.
conspicuous.
Where's my will?
So. Your will is 3. Yeah. It's...
Oh, there we go.
So-
free will.
So you don't roll it, Connor. It's just the base obus is your
Okay,
will.
So can I
Yeah,
use
he's just trying to get a 3 now because you.
Oh.
can I use
okay.
bullcrap, falsehood, and conspicuous?
Not conspicuous.
Okay. And I'm also trying to persuade the priest as well, in addition to Connor,
To do what?
to convince him that I'm completely honest and on board with this and ready to fulfill my new life.
Okay, all right. Well, it's going to be a separate. It's not going to be a separate roll, but like it's
Okay.
going to go separately against his will, which is 4. So
Okay, so
So
I'll,
only 4.
okay. So 2 modifiers,
Fair enough.
no Artha. So I'll just do 4, and then should I just? Is it 2 separate rolls, or is it just 1? But the obstacle thing is different.
It's just 1.
It's just
It'll
one.
just be against
Okay.
both of them.
So
Yeah.
I'll just do 4 then. Yes.
Dang.
nice.
Yes.
Okay, so you convince both of them. So the Inquisitor kind of like nods appreciatively, and Cantarius, how does he respond?
So he is convincing me that the church is good.
No, I'm convincing you to be a little more grateful since you're not dead.
But I want to die.
Why? But Kano, live.
So maybe Cantarius thinks of the fact that now he can what? Like, why would he be? How
What
would
are
he?
your beliefs?
Yeah, how would
Thinking
how
of
would
his
he
beliefs is
exactly?
what he wrote.
How would
okay,
he?
well I'll just go to the belief that that we talked about earlier. Yeah, that's not on there yet. Oh no, the belief that is on there. Where is my beliefs?
If you go to the top middle tabs and go to information instead of stats and skills.
Oh, bio and info.
No, it's under that. It's actually on the sheet itself. It's at the very top. There's 4 tabs. One says
Oh.
information, stats, skills, combat, character burn. You want
Oh,
information.
look at that. That's cool.
Yep.
Okay, so number 1 then. My first belief.
Okay. And we'll go through the beliefs at the end of this session. We forgot to do it at the first, but I think that was fine because we're introducing all the characters as well. So
Yeah, I don't think we even have all of our beliefs. Like I didn't
Yeah.
have all of mine.
Mhm.
No.
Okay, so so how does Cantarius exactly respond though, Connor?
I silently just let go of him.
Okay. So Vadafrey looks at you all and he says, "Any other objections?"
At this point, I've seen horror, and I'm not willing to let that be me. So no, I'm not going to object.
You don't
I
want to be
stubbornly shake my head.
bubbled into pieces.
No, I don't want to be little bitty pieces.
Your mic is a little gravelly, Josh.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's giving me a little feedback for some reason.
Is that any better? Did it change at all?
Mm-mm. No, it's like the connection is
it's
kind of
the same.
weird.
David, how do you react to my my profession of faith?
How do I?
He said
No,
he
David.
nodded. Oh, me?
Yeah.
Dylan.
I doubt he's convinced. I mean, like, I think he knows you well enough that he's like, yeah, it was, it's not like you haven't done this. What was it, 300 times before?
Uh-huh.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's familiar enough with it that he like doesn't even really listen. Like, he might have been more convinced if he'd let himself listen to it, but I don't think he even is paying attention.
Okay.
Because he's just, I mean, like, he's so solidly just believing that that's the case that I don't think he's even listening to other statements.
Mhm.
Mm.
So yeah, I think Dylan just steps up and he's like, when do I get my sword back?
And he smiles.
Being like, I'm ready, like, when do I get my sword?
Yeah. He smiles and he says, eager, I see, young Dylan. Well, I suppose there's no time to waste. It's not like you have any other things planned for your afternoon. And he kind of like folds his hands in front of him, sits down at the desk, and he says, "We will be telling the general populace, as we do with every exoneration, that you are being brought to a monastery to be trained in the ways of the church. That is not what you will be doing. I am sending you on a mission for the church. A mission to prove yourselves as servants, as, looks at you, Dellen, vessels, to show your quality.
Just show your quality. That's a line from something.
Lord of the Rings.
What is that from? Lord of the Rings? Show your quality. Anyway.
Cool beans.
No objections, no fits of anger, no protestations against the church and its justice.
You forgot sarcastic remarks.
That was like the perfect statement because it was a sarcastic remark.
Exactly.
Very nice.
Have fun to say that out loud.
I basically said everything I've said out loud.
Okay, so he kind of like
Oh man.
he stands up and he says, "Your weapons will be given to you. Your tools will be given to you. I trust that you would use all of your might and all of your skill to aid the church where necessary. I do trust," and then he looks at Dellen, "that you will not kill each other in the process. For if you do, that will be a condition to cause your expiration." And he kind of points to the pile of gore.
Dylan pauses and he's like, "Except that this was a this was to ensure our service to the church." He said, and then he says, "If killing another member of the party is deemed to be in service to the church, is that not acceptable?"
He smiles and he says, "Just run it by me first." And
He nods.
What about castration?
he kind of like narrows his eyebrows and he's like, did you actually say that?
Maybe.
Why would your character have said that though?
Out of belief. No reason.
Oh my goodness.
No, like in all seriousness, though.
No, I know exactly what you're saying.
I don't say specifics. But I say, what about, injury?
Mutilation.
Mutilation, but like injuring.
I mean, castration
Like
is
if I
mutilation.
threw a rock at Dylan's head, like this little pebble, what happened?
Because I assume that's cause for, well, you said a pebble. Never mind. Yeah,
Like what I just did with Jared. Jared went to slap me, and I stopped him and put him in a wrist lock.
Mm.
Why didn't both of us just die?
yeah, he says, "No, it says nothing. Did I say anything about maiming or injuring? Death is the penalty for death."
Dylan laughs. He's like, "Oh, I see.
I know.
That's good to know."
but and he goes to like turn away, but then he turns back and he says, "But I would not recommend maiming your companions so easily, for they are all the help that you will get to accomplish this task. And if the task is not accomplished, all of you will die."
I look around and say, "So leave my boys alone."
Oh my goodness.
Jared, I never said anything about castration.
What?
I think
What did you say, Connor?
Dylan shakes his head when he says that they're all you have, and he's like, "I think the Lord, or the Holy God, is a better ally than your three criminals." And then he just kind of turns around to leave.
And he said, and Vada Frey calls after
I say that demons would be better allies.
Vada, yeah,
I'd say you
he talks to all of you and he says, "But God has willed you four chosen, so be it as it may." And then,
say it again. You cut
yeah,
out.
you're fine. God has willed you four chosen, so be it as it may.
You cut out
That
real
was
bad
not-
that time.
He said that it was God's will that it was God that chose us, and that he said, "Be it as it may," and then both. That's what I said. So basically, like,
Okay.
because I said God was a better ally, and he's like, well, God said you should do this together. So
Oh, okay. All right, gotcha.
Did we lose Jared?
we might have lost picture, anyways.
What?
We lost your picture.
As long as we can still hear him.
Oh,
at the
you
end
guys
of
are
the world.
talking. What the heck? I just saw there's awkward silence. Okay, I'm just gonna reload.
Anyways.
Hmm?
I'm
Okay.
just gonna reload it.
So yeah, let's go ahead and just take our break there actually. And then come back. So you guys basically get Vodafray leaves the chamber and you guys are all just left like looking at each other.
Okay.
So
Gail, real quick. Dad wants to know if you have the third Michael Sullivan book.
I'm not sure. I'll check.
In the middle of the stream.
Yeah.
All right. What did you just say? Jesus interrupting.
Oh, we're gonna take our third break here.
He doesn't know. He's gonna check. Okay.
Cool.
All right. See you guys in a little bit.
Good. All right. See ya.
Yeah, mine's like barely working.